Okay, so looking at the packet that you've been given, we're going to come up with headings for each of the paragraphs that you're going to read, and I'm going to start by reading those to you. So the first paragraph talks about artificial intelligence, AI, is becoming an important part of your everyday lives. From virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa to recommendation engines on Netflix and YouTube, AI is everywhere. But how does AI learn? This text will break down the concept of machine learning in a way that is easy to understand and provide some examples. Machine learning is a branch of AI that allows computers to learn from data instead of being programmed with specific instructions for every task. Machines can analyze patterns in data to improve their performance over time. This means that the more data an AI system gets, the better it can understand their decisions. So AI is technology that allows computers to perform tasks that normally require a human. It's part of our everyday life, and some examples were Siri, Alexa, Netflix, YouTube, social media. And that machine learning is a specific branch of AI where we learn from data instead of just programming the traditional way a computer to do something. It's going to start learning by itself. Paragraph 2. Machine learning works through algorithms, which are sets of data, rules, or instructions that a computer follows to solve a problem. There are 3 types of machine learning, and we can categorize them into 3 main types: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Supervised learning. In supervised learning, the AI is trained on a labeled data set. This means the data includes both input and the correct output. And, for example, if we want to teach AI to recognize pictures of cats, we would provide it with many images of cats. That would be the input. And label them cat. The AI learns to identify features that different cats have from other animals. Once it is trained, it can look at a new image and determine if that image is a cat. Example, an email filtering system can use supervised learning to identify spam. The system is trained with a data set of emails labeled spam and not spam. Over time, it learns to recognize patterns that are common in spam emails. So in this paragraph, we learned what machine learning was. It is a type of AI that doesn't need the human to program it and have exact instructions. It is going to look at data. So it's going to be provided with a lot of data sets, and over time, by collecting and looking at more data, it improves. Think of it like learning a new skill. The more you practice, the better you get. So the more data an AI system receives, the smarter it gets. The type of machine learning that we learned about in this paragraph was called supervised learning. This has to have labeled data, which means when the data comes into the system, it has labels. The example was that if I provided it with a photo of a cat, the label on it would be cat. And then over time, the AI learns to match features with those labels. Another real world example was email spam filters. The system learns from emails marked as spam, labeled that way, and not spam, how to recognize new emails that come into the system by looking at the patterns that it had learned. Paragraph 3. Unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, on the other hand, It does not have labeled data. Instead, the AI looks for patterns and relationships in the data on its own. This method is useful when we don't have clear outcomes for every piece of data. Example, imagine a school that wants to group students based on their study habits. An AI can analyze various factors such as grades, attendance, and then groups the students into clusters based on similarities without prior labels. So for this example, unsupervised learning, there are no labels on the data that it has. The system finds patterns and relationships on its own. It is useful when we don't have clear outcomes for every piece of data. And the example was grouping students based on study habits. So we looked at grades and attendance, and it was able to create groups based on similarities in those, and could say that the students who came all the time, possibly, and had good grades had better study habits. There were no predefined categories needed, kind of like if you go into a grocery store and you swipe your bonus card. That data is unlabeled as the system receives it, and then it could group you based on your shopping habits with other shoppers to see what they need to put on their shelves. Paragraph 4, reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a different approach where AI learns by trial and error. It receives feedback from the action in the form of rewards and penalties. The goal is to learn which actions lead to best outcomes. Example, think of a video game where the player gains points for completing levels quickly and loses them by making a mistake. An AI playing the game learns to make better choices over time and receive the highest score. Reinforcement learning is trial and error and receiving feedback in the form of rewards and penalties or consequences. The goal for the AI is to learn how to make the best choices, like training a pet. Good behavior gets rewarded with a treat, and bad rewarder gets punished with maybe a smack on the butt. Another example is playing a video game. You gain points for completing the levels, you learn points for making mistakes, learns a better strategy over time. Another example would be like the Roomba robotic vacuum. When you first get it, it might bump into the walls and not know the pattern of your house. Over time, learning where it bumps into walls, it will stop that behavior and it will start learning the floor plan of your house so that it does not hit a wall, which would be a penalty. Think about AI playing tic-tac-toe. Over time, it would learn where to place its X's so that it would always win the game. Real-world applications of machine learning. Machine learning, paragraph 5, has many real-world applications that affect our daily lives. Here are a few examples. Healthcare. AI can analyze medical images to help doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately. It could compare labeled images that it has seen over time and be able to diagnose current images. For instance, machine learning algorithms can detect tumors in X-rays or MRIs. Finance. Financial institutions use machine learning to detect fraudulent transactions by analyzing patterns in spending behavior. If something seems unusual, the system can alert the bank. So if most of your charges follow a pattern of grocery store, healthcare, video, entertainment, and all of a sudden there's a large purchase for something different, it would be able to notice that. Transportation. Companies like Uber and Google use machine learning to optimize routes for drivers, making travel more efficient. AI analyzes traffic patterns and suggests the fastest routes. That way you save time. Entertainment. Streaming services such as Netflix and Spotify use machine learning to recommend movies, songs, and other items based on what users have watched or listened to in the past. Or it could even recommend things that similar users like and match you with other users that share patterns with you. So these are some real world applications of machine learning. There are many more. Paragraph 6. Machine learning is a powerful technology that enables AI to learn from data and improve over time. By using different types of machine learning methods, supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement, AI systems can perform complex tasks in a variety of fields, such as technology and healthcare. Technology continues to advance. Machine learning will likely play a greater role in our daily lives and shaping our future. Understanding how AI learns is essential as we navigate a world increasingly influenced by artificial intelligence. So, AI, in the machine learning sense, is different than traditional programming. In traditional programming, the computer has to be programmed to do each task by a human. That's traditional coding. Whereas in machine learning, we've learned today that computers are learning from collecting data over time by themselves. They don't need that human input. This could be a major change in our world. AI features like smartphones with face recognition, voice assistance, and predictive text are just one way that you might experience AI in your daily life. And think about the apps and tools you can use at school to help you adapt your progress, or that a teacher might use to come up with lesson plans. Video games. The characters learn from player behavior, what not to do. Shopping. Websites suggest products you might like. There might be a suggestion on your social media for products that you have been searching for. Or on Amazon, you might see suggestions. Weather apps use predictions based on historical weather patterns. What was the weather like at this time 2 years ago? What was it like 3 years ago? And it can use that information to predict what might it be like now. Can you think of other AI uses in your daily life? AI will continue to advance and shape our lives. New applications are being developed every day, and understanding how AI learns to help us is super important. Use AI tools more effectively to make your life easier. They think critically about AI recommendations and consider ethical questions about AI use. Can I use it for my school project? How ethical of a choice is it to just copy something from AI? What about songwriters? Will they be replaced by AI generated songs and music? What else might AI affect in our world? What problems could it help solve? What problems might it make? And how might it change the future of jobs?